Alrighty. So I have returned with the stream because for some reason uh, it decided to stop recording midstream. So hold on, let me get this straight real quick. I'll be right back. How's that? Is that better? All right. So, restarting this, I apologize for those who may have been looking forward to the stream earlier. Normally it starts again. It does start at 9 p.m. But again, for some reason, the stream just decided to shut off. So, here we go again. So, these are the 5 titles that I recommended for the week of June 8th, 2020. Coming to you on June 12th, 2020 for the review of those 5 titles. So, as you can see here, we have UnderPrin, Kubera, Dice, Doodle For Food, and I Don't Want This Kind of Hero. So, in UnderPrin, let's get started with that. All right, so this is again updated every Thursday. Here is the summary. So, Jin is a famous singer whose true identity is the legendary devil Lord Paradine. Even his own son, Miryu, does not know that his father is the legendary devil. To protect his son, Jin fights. I was saying it's kind of a very simplistic breakdown of what this series is about. As we get to know more about Jin, it comes out that he is not only the legendary devil, but he's also potentially a holder of a special blood trait that would make the demon queen even stronger than what she already is. Then there is the the archangels who are out to destroy the devils, and then their counterparts, which is their human forms, which are affected by certain curses and spells here. So let's get back to the top of this so you can kind of see. So this here is Jin. This is here is Jin's father. This here is Miryu, Jin's son. And this is Jin wearing a disguise to look more like his son. He also gets into trouble a lot with his manager because he is an idol, so he does sing. So that leads to a lot of things. Later on, Miryu ends up getting mistaken by this devil here because he looks a lot like what his father's father looks like. So his grandfather basically looks a lot like his grandfather. And then there are quite a few other devils that come into the play and other archangels that come into play. And Miryu is actually just all he wants to do is, just like his father wants to protect him, he wants to protect his father. So that dynamic ends up coming into play a lot. He ends up getting used as a weapon against his own father. Doesn't even know it. There's a lot of betrayal, a lot of backstabbing, double crossing. Uh, the action is good. The storyline is pretty good as well. Um, there's a curse that's on his blood that he can be used by the Demon Queen. If she senses him, she could kind of make him do her bidding. And Miryu ends up getting infected because of the trick that's played on him, and he's actually ends up getting his blood mixed with that of his father's demon blood, and then it ends up playing out not so good for them in their attempt to try to overthrow her. So the coup that they're trying to set up to try to regain control of the underworld, it's a lot that goes on in this story. But that there is UnderPrin. Moving on to our second title. So our second title is Kubera. All right, so first let's get up here to the. So currently this is on hiatus. Curry is so delicious. Kubera lives in a small town. One day when she comes back to home, she found out that high-ranked Asuras wiped out the town. Therefore, she escapes to the city to get Asura's help, who is a great wizard. I said this summary is not accurate in the aspect that when she leaves from her destroyed city, she doesn't go to get Asha's help. She just so happens to run into Asha, and Asha decides to help her. So it wasn't like Kubera or aka Lees was looking for Asha. She just so happened to meet Asha. And then I said this when I said earlier in the description of the recommendation video. I stated that there was kind of a conspiracy, I would say, when it comes to the high-ranking Sura destroying her city. When hold on, it's already at the bottom. All right. When it comes to the destruction of her city, there is a tool that allows you to measure the amount of people who died from the attack. When they go to measure the city after it's been destroyed, it is discovered that there are 0 dead people. However, when she left the city was bustling. There were thousands of people going around in this city and interacting with her, calling her by name, and saying hi to her. But yet, when the city was destroyed, there were 0 body count. So that's why I say there's a bit of a conspiracy, because was this town real? Did this town ever exist? Or was it just a projection of someone's power that's never revealed, or currently hasn't been revealed? Let's put it like that. That secret hasn't currently been revealed. The only people who know that information is like the agency and the readers. The main character, Kubera, or aka Lees, doesn't know that. Now, the reason why I keep saying aka Lees is because when Asha finds out that her name is Kubera, she tells her to use a different name, and so she ends up using the name of her father, whose name was, I believe it was Lees Hots, or something like that, who was like a legendary fighter, and she, I kind of went over this in the recommendation video, but I didn't really, not too much. So there are different elements of magic in this world. There's water, there's wind, there's earth, there's light, there's dark, there's life, and there's death. If you, or is it death attribute is part of the dark attribute? You have 3 triple. There's something like that. As you read, it starts to come out a little bit more. So, the reason why this first arc is called A Girl with a God's Name is because our main character Lees, or Kubera, her name Kubera is the name of a god in this universe, and there is a stigma with this name because people have actually been getting killed who own this name. There is a investigation that goes into all these people who have been getting murdered with this name, and a lot of things come back, and it gets there's a lot of people that get involved in it. There is also this story with Brilith and the god Agni, who's the god of fire. That's really dark and messed up, and it's just like, yeah, you really feel for Brilith as her story comes out. Then you also kind of feel for the person who killed her as when his story comes out, which is Gunarva, which is the god of the Gnosticus. I believe that's his rank. Either that, or he's just a really high-ranking Gnostica or demon, as it were, or Sura. Then what else do we have in this? There's oh yeah, there's a situation where it was called the upheaval, where it was when one of the gods' emotions go awry. All of the halves that are under that Sura or that Nastica or that god went crazy and basically killed a lot of their family and friends. As a result, there's now a stigma against half-breeds, which are humans and Nasticas or Suras. So if they're half human, half Sura, they kind of are required to be monitored at all times. They have to be with an escort, someone who can kind of keep them under control or subjugation. Then it later on turns out that there's a Taraka, there's a clan of demons that basically makes everyone's transcendental skills, which transcendental skills are just a really powerful magic that can be cast by gods and Gnosticas alike. But there's a being out there that negates that ability. And its magic trait is chaos. So yeah, just kind of think about that for a little bit. But yeah, Kubera, really enjoyed this title. See, it's on hiatus right now, so I'm a little sad, but it says it will be back, so that's good to hear. So I'm probably gonna end up getting back into that as well, along with the other titles like UnderPrin. I'll probably start reading that again. Now, on to our third title for the week of June 8th, 2020, and that title is Alright, so we have Dice. Let's go ahead and get into the summary. So, what if you can restart your life with a different setting, just like a game? Dong Tae always gets bullied by his classmates, but Tae Bin sits right next to him. Is handsome and popular at school, and now Tae Bin suggests Dong Tae to play a little game. So, this is updated every Wednesday. So in Dice, I kind of went over a little bit, like the teaser, the recommendation video, like what would you do if you could reset yourself, right? What if you could do if you could change your stats? What if you could do if you could become faster, stronger, smarter, enhance your looks, height, size, weight? What would you do with that kind of power? What if you could then unlock superpowers? Then what would you do if the GM who released that power to you decides, I don't want you having that power anymore? So in this story, the main story starts off by following a little bit of the beginning, showing you the intro of this little boy who's running away from his abusive alcoholic father, who then gets caught up to, and he's threatening to kill him. And kids talking about wishes and how they aren't granted for wishing up on a shooting star. And as he's about to get hit, something crash lands and he runs over to it. And what he discovers is dice. And not just any dice. The die of all die. So, this kid is the game master. So, with a background like his, how do you think that affects the playstyle of what you have to do to obtain dice? And then if that's the issue. Then look at Dongbin, who is no Dongtae. Sorry, I mixed up names. Dongtae, who is a what's known as a bread shuttle. Who is basically, it's a gopher. It's someone you pick on and bully to make sure to go and get you things for you. What happens if he ends up getting his hands on this power? Then all the moral situation, all the moral issues that he gets into, because he's trying to just share the power that he has with someone else he sees getting picked on, but it ends up backfiring, and then the dice just kind of just started getting spread out throughout the world, and now it ends in a situation where it's Dongtae versus the world, but he did all of this to get the attention of a girl. Then he gets into an issue where there's a girl who likes him and the girl he likes, and the GM does something to set them against him. It's all bad, but it's really good story. So if you haven't already, go ahead and start reading Dice. Dice is amazing. Same with Kubera. UnderPrin is good. They're all really good stories. But they're also kind of dark. So on to the lighter side of the 5 recommendations I did for this week, and that brings us to Doodle for Food. So this is all completed. Our manga artist and creator Megan McKay has ended the series, but this is the summary. Cute and funny comics with a pinch of biting humor. So to kind of give you a look into the hold on, I just read through this earlier. So basically what happened was, I was in my video I made earlier, the stream decided it just didn't want to continue to stream, so I basically did a whole segment, and then I found out that none of it was actually being streamed, so I had to redo it. So here I am. I apologize for the inconvenience on that, but hey, I'm doing this for the fans and doing it for the culture. So here we are with Doodle for Food. This name of this comic was Be Prepared. So get a little bit of rain on us. Tomorrow I'll be prepared. Yeah, came with the umbrella. Aha. Boom, the heavy winds come. Tomorrow I'll be prepared. Haha, sunny day. Full protective swimsuit with floaties, and tomorrow I'll be prepared. So that's the level of comedy that you'll be getting out of Doodle for Food. It's really cute. It's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but it's just everyday life situations that you'll be dealing with, and then just kind of just exaggerating the situation in an aspect like that, or sometimes it's just straight on. And I enjoy Doodle for Food, but like I said, if you ever need like a palate cleanser, you're reading something, watching something that you just want, like, man, it got me a little bit. Well, Doodle for Food, I think, is the perfect palate cleanser for you. It's cute comics, everyday life situations that you would run into, work-related, game-related, food-related, just all of that, family relations, stuff like that, dating, all that. It covers everything. So I highly enjoyed Doodle for Food. I recommend, if you haven't already, go ahead and give it a read. She's done 500 episodes, as you can see that. So yeah, enjoy. So now on to the last title for the week of June 8th, 2020 from the Webtoon app is I Don't Want This Kind of Hero. So this summary really really underrating the sale here, but a new hero, Spoon, is here to save the world and find the peace. As you can see, this title says it is also completed, so I'm gonna have to come back and start reading this again because I really enjoyed I Don't Want This Kind of Hero. It's only 297 episodes. So our main character's name, I believe his name is Naga. He's a telepath, X-ray vision, teleportation, flight. He's got a lot of powers. The thing is, though, he's just a kid. He's in high school, right? And he ends up running into a lot of situations that called to light a lot of ethical and moral dilemmas that one might face. While having those moral and ethical dilemmas, he also has superpowers that he doesn't actually have full control over just yet, especially his telekinesis. He could really pretty much just kill anybody, but he has to try to keep it under wraps because he doesn't want to. However, he ends up getting pushed into certain situations that end up resulting in him taking lives. Then he has to kind of live with that, while then also still being attacked and hunted by this terrorist organization. So here we are in the prologue. Again, I'm gonna have to skip back to the top because I kind of already went through this again earlier, but then it turns out we had a small issue. So here we are talking about how there's a bunch of tales with supernatural characters. It's a vampire, but he's got a straw. I just noticed that again. That's pretty funny. Basically talking about that, there's a whole lot of stories about mystical creatures, but in this world, mystical creatures are real, and a lot of them don't always do what's right. Some people gotta live, right? So some resort to crime, some not. Some live successful lives. Some are really rich. Some are, sold as expensive pets. It's a really messed up world as well. Like I said, this is also kind of a dark tale. Oh man, this part right here is funny. He gets caught because he drops something and he steps on it, splits his legs, and is just out of commission. So that's kind of how they caught that guy. Stopped his bike and then made him trip on some trash. So again, though, getting to our main character, like I said, he ends up facing a lot of things in this story, including this terrorist organization here, that basically are the main culprits behind him having to bring to light a lot of situations that he ends up having to resolve. They end up getting involved with this crazy chick that's out to get him, who has the ability to basically disrupt his telekinesis, which his telekinesis is his main offensive ability. And when that gets disrupted, it messes with him psychologically as well, because he's like, this person who's hurting me and hurting my friends, and I can't do anything to stop it. Because ultimately, he is physically weak. He's just really powerful with his telekinesis. There's also these beings that are virtually immortal, or basically immortal. They've been around for a long period of time, and they've kind of vowed to try to stay out of humans' lives and the path they take. I should point out the main leader, which you kind of saw a quick glimpse of in that prologue, is of the terrorist organization. The guy in white with the blindfold is killing people, maiming people, all to try to get the affection of this girl who he paralyzed. And here's the crazy thing, right? The organization that Naga works for, their higher ups know who he is, and rather than take him out, they keep him alive because he unfortunately has the ability to heal the world. So let's say there is nuclear radiation in the water. He can put his hand in the water, purifies the water. However, he is mentally corrupted and lives in such a way that he's a terrorist, right? So he's going around like murdering people, committing atrocious crimes. But the agency that Naga works for, again, this kid in high school, that's like, well, wrong is wrong. Why aren't we doing something about this guy? And now this guy is after me, right? He's hurting me and my friends, and you're telling me I can't do anything to stop him? I'm supposed to try to bring him in for questioning, but I can't do anything to hurt him because ultimately he can help keep the world alive, and then when he is caught, somehow he miraculously escapes without, with people not knowing. So there's quite a bit of corruption in this too. And like I said, there's a situation where Naga ends up having to take a life of someone. Again, as a kid, not wanting to do it, but his hand being forced is an unfortunate situation he ends up falling into, but something he has to end up ultimately overcoming. But like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and finish reading this series myself, because this is a really good read. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the artwork. All the twists, all the turns, everything that came in this story was really good. With that, I think that's it for this series, or this episode of the Manga Report, which is the follow-up to the manga review. Again, the titles that we covered were UnderPrin, Kubera, Dice, Doodle For Food, and I Don't Want This Kind of Hero. If you enjoyed this stories, or even if we're slightly interested at all in any of the titles that I recommended on today's episode, please, by all means, download the Webtoon app and give them a read. Okay? So, with that, I'm signing off. Remember, as always, stay salty.